Look, we all want to see Konnor Griffin in the major leagues, and it's just a matter of time until he is. I don't think there's really any doubt in that, knock on wood, barring any injury. But I think Konnor Griffin at 19 years old, we got to remember, is just a teenager. Sure, he is mature beyond his years, already married, 9th overall pick, was the first high school player drafted in his class. 8 college players went before him in 24. But did not play an inning in 2024. Made his debut in 2025. Had an incredible season, 21 homers, 23 doubles, drove in 94 and stole a insane 65 bags. Sure, he struck out 122 times in 122 games. But he hit 333, an OPS of 941, and an on-base of 415. He will be ready sooner rather than later. But a couple reasons why Konnor Griffin starting in the minor leagues is a good thing. It's an okay thing. Sure, we all want to see him now. Would he be able to handle it now? Probably. Defensively, I'd say so. Offensively, he'd figure it out. But what if he starts off the first 2 weeks of the year hitting 180, hitting 190? Does he, at least in the back of his mind, start to think a little bit too much? How much pressure is on Konnor Griffin if he starts the year in the major leagues as basically the chosen one? Think of him in a similar light as LeBron in Cleveland in 2003. Because it's different than when Skeens came up. When Skeens debuted on May 11th, 2024, he's a pitcher. He goes every 5 days. Yes, his impact is significant, but he doesn't play every single day. He's not somebody who plays offensively, defensively, can hit in the middle of your order, and with one swing of the bat can change a game. I'm not trying to diminish Paul Skeens whatsoever. Don't take it that way. But what I'm getting at here, you want Konnor Griffin to be right when he comes up. And in spring training, the phrase was, leave no doubt, in quotations. And Griffin didn't do that. There were a lot of things that were silenced. Griffin, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs in spring training. Can he be a effective run producer in the middle of the order? Yeah. I think he could come up right now and do that. But what's his approach like at the plate? 2 walks and 46 plate appearances. 1 double and 46 plate appearances. 7 total hits. 5 of them were extra bases. Did have 13 strikeouts. He hit 171. And look, the spring training stats aren't the gospel. He was also hit 3 times. Kind of an oddity, like being the ball magnet that Henry Davis seems to be for the Pirates in the season. But it's okay for Konnor Griffin to start in AAA and just get his feet right. Face AAA pitching for the first time. Last year, only 21 games in AA. I'm not breaking any news to you here. We've discussed this in a lot of depth and detail. And I want Konnor Griffin to be here ASAP. But if you try to take a little bit of the pressure and the heat off of him, that he is going to feel this season regardless. MLB.com saw this today, predicted Konnor Griffin to win Rookie of the Year. The expectations are sky high. The belief from what he can be, astronomical. Contract extension already being discussed. 8 years, $110 million from Noah Hiles, who will join the show at 8 o'clock. All I'm saying is Konnor Griffin didn't light the world on fire in spring training other than hitting the ball out of the ballpark. It wasn't Kevin Newman hitting 606 a couple years ago. That would have solidified a spot. But he didn't leave completely no doubt. And that's okay. That's okay. This is not like last year. The conversation would be different if this was the 2025 Pirates or the 2024 Pirates compared to the 2026 team, where your lineup will have Cruz, Horwitz, in no particular order, Ozuna, coming off of a MVP finish, 4th in the MVP voting 2 years ago, 2 All-Stars you added in Lau and O'Hearn, what I expect to be an improved Brian Reynolds, and one of Davis, Triolo, and Gonzalez I think is going to figure it out. That might be a gut instinct, but it's also that Henry Davis had a good final 2 weeks of spring. Nick Gonzalez, I believe in more than others. Not a lot of power there, but good bat-to-ball skills. Seems like a clutch player, and there's really no stat for how clutch is a guy. But 2024 with 5 game-winning hits for a team that won 76 games and wasn't in a lot of them. You know, that's something that I look at and take some positivity from. And Konnor Griffin will be here maybe the second week of May. Hell, if they get a long-term extension done, maybe he's up here by April 9th so that they can call him up. He can work on whatever he needs to work on in the minors for 2 weeks. And in terms of service time, you would call him up in time to be able to receive a first-round pick, or at least a pick from 26 to 32, if Griffin does win Rookie of the Year, which I think just like Skeens, it seems like it's very possible, even though McLean and New York with the Mets and J.J. Weatherholt, there's a lot of good rookies that are debuting this year. They're going to give Konnor Griffin a run for his money. But I'm all right with it, man, because you've added offense to be able to survive. Maybe not survive is not the right word, but to be able to put yourself in a good position so that Konnor Griffin is not the guy that you call up and immediately say, all righty, here are the keys to our entire offense. You're batting third. We need you to hit, 300 already for us. And it's the 8th inning. The bases are loaded, and it's a tie game. Go win us the game right now. No, there are other guys, other options, other players because of the additions that they've made, because of lineup protection for Cruz and Reynolds and ideally bounce-back years, and finally the breakout year for O'Neal Cruz. And I think in Spencer Horwitz's case, he is a better player than I have given him credit for. Last year, 272, 11 homers, 51 RBIs. More guys on base, more opportunities for Horwitz. And he gets on base at a pretty good clip. Like if I were the Pirates, he'd be my leadoff guy, not O'Neal Cruz.